And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I know how I feel about it. Travis Kelce, I forget where he was on. It probably was his podcast, and he said that Patrick Mahomes has had it harder than Tom Brady, and that
Yes.
he believes
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
He believes Patrick. Okay.
Tom Brady has played with top 5, top 10 defenses for most of his career.
Okay. I love how you guys feel about this because I feel
Because
completely
It's not no slight though. It's not no slight. But
It's not a
Exactly.
slight. We're not slighting. We're not slighting. We're not slighting. Actually, you know what? You guys make a point. I got to go on.
look,
Go ahead.
like
Q.
you were saying, he's top 10. Tom Brady's playing with the first 3 years of those first 3 Super Bowls, he was playing with top 5 scoring defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes never had that.
Exactly.
Like, he didn't have to do nothing for his first 3 Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes played on a Chiefs team that did not have a defense for the first 3 years. You know what I'm saying? It was him as a rookie. Well, technically it was his second year, but that was his first year starting. He had to literally throw 50 touchdowns and throw for 5,000 yards because he had to be basically in shootouts every game. He had against the Rams where the score was 51-53.
Yeah.
You let up 53 points to Jared Goff. And I like Jared Goff, but people don't have the crazy, whatever on him. We seen him going to a Super Bowl with 5 straight backup offensive linemen to get, trounced by the Bucks. But if you watch the game, he literally was trying his hardest to get the ball out and, send it everywhere.
It was.
Tom Brady, the first half of his career, it was more that he was the game manager, even though he wasn't, he was going to be Tom Brady eventually, but he didn't have to do much in the beginning. Like,
it wasn't. All right. So here, I love that. I love that you feel
outside
that.
Of the Panthers Super, I know everybody, the Panthers Super Bowl, yes, he did a lot, but the first couple of years, Brady wasn't doing much. He led the league in touchdowns, but it was more, we gonna ride this defense.
Now let me make my point, right? I love the points, right? So we're really only matching up the first 5 years because that's all we can really compare. We got Mahomes, we got Brady's first 5 years. So you said Brady has had it harder Mahomes had it harder than Brady the first 5 years.
Yeah.
Because Brady had the great defenses, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's remember back to 2001. The New England Patriots were 1-2, I believe, when Brady took over. And the year prior, they missed the playoffs and they were having a down season. And there were people talking that Bill Belichick was possibly on his way out. This team, he was going to get fired, and the Patriots were going to basically restart. I'll give you the first Super Bowl. The defense won that. They held the greatest show on turf to freaking 14 points. That's incredible, right?
One touchdown pass that whole postseason run.
Yeah. No, I'm giving you the first season. I'm giving you his first season of the defense. Even though he led the game-winning field goal drive to win the Super Bowl. Okay, but I'm going to give you that. Then they missed the playoffs his second year starting. But then we get to the Panthers Super Bowl, which was a shootout. 32-29, I believe it was.
Yeah.
That is when Brady took over, and that is when it became more Tom Brady. That is when it became more Tom. It was.
Wait, Q. Don't even do it. Okay, so just because Tom took over does not mean he had it harder than Patrick Mahomes.
But I'm getting to that, right? Because what Mahomes lacked on defense, the offense made up for it. Because what Brady had on defense, he did not have on offense. Who was Brady's number one weapons?
The dude that won Super Bowl MVP, Deion Branch.
Okay, but so is he a Hall of Famer? No. He's a good player, but he's not great.
Yeah,
Brady should have won that Super Bowl
MVP. He's not Hall of Famer.
Brady should have won that Super Bowl MVP too.
James White should have won that Super Bowl. Super Bowl MVP. If we being serious.
Stop it. No. Stop it. That was Brady's Super Bowl MVP.
You gotta listen.
We're not talking about later in his season. We're talking about the first 5 years. So you're jumping the gun there, all right? We're only talking about the first 5 years. Brady didn't have those weapons that Mahomes had. Mahomes had Travis Kelce. Okay, arguably the greatest tight end of all time.
He was just coming up.
No. With Alex Smith, he was great. He became elevated to that because, yes, him and Mahomes have this connection like a Brady and Gronk. But my whole point is he had these weapons behind him, and he had an offensive mastermind.
But my thing is, was he the top tight end when Alex Smith was there?
Well, no, because Gronk was playing.
Exactly.
Look at that fucking Gronkowski in his prime, dude. Hold on. All right, so my whole
Gronk was the best tight end in NFL history until Travis Kelce, 2 years basically took over.
Okay, and then here's my next point, right? Is who had it harder. We're gonna sit here and dismiss the what we just talked about a couple of segments ago. The league rules that have changed and played in favor to quarterbacks and offenses. No. Because what Tom Brady had to play with in those first 5 years, this is why I will never get into their stats and stuff like that. I don't want to hear yards per attempt. I don't want to hear yards. I don't want to hear touchdown interception ratio, because Brady in those 2000s, you were actually allowed to play defense. You were allowed to play football. All right, go look at the tape. So we're not going to sit here and dismiss the fact of the hardship of both players, and that Mahomes didn't have an insanely talented offense he walked in. Patrick Mahomes possibly walked into the best situation in NFL history offensively. That is like almost – name another one who walked into. Maybe Kurt Warner? Maybe?
Yeah.
Brock Purdy too, sure.
Brock Purdy, exactly.
Brock Purdy too. I'm talking strictly offensively, though.
Keep it right there.
Offensively.
Keep it right there. You made – back when the defense could do whatever they want, yet they had the greatest show on turf, lighting people up.
Yeah.
Because if they could score as much points as, that they basically score now, why couldn't anybody else? I mean, it's not like the defense.
They had the weapons. That's what my whole point is. Tom didn't have the weapons. He had Benjamin Watson and Deion Branch.
And Deion Branch won a Super Bowl MVP
off of Tom Brady. Come on, man.
You can say that. You can say that about any offense. You can say that about any offensive weapon getting thrown to the quarterback. Like, you can say that about any offensive weapon that shows out.
The same thing about Julian Edelman.
Exactly. Like, you can say that about anybody. Yeah, but Tom Brady stole him the ball. Justin Jefferson went off for a great, one of the most historic wide receivers of all time. Nobody's saying, but yeah, he got Kirk
Cousins throwing him the ball.
Like, nobody's saying that.
Exactly.
Listen, if you want to compare relative to the era, first 5 years,
take that into consideration.
Mahomes won his way to a Super Bowl. Tom Brady throws a fourth quarter interception that gets called back on some late offsides call. They would have gone to the Super Bowl.
That one. That was not a late offsides. He was clearly offsides.
They weren't gonna call. They didn't throw the flag to it. They didn't throw the flag to this. They seen it was gonna land in deep.
I don't know about all that.
Damn, Tom Brady's gonna lose, huh? Throw the flag.
I don't know about all that. You're trying to tell me Tom Brady didn't know that player lined up offsides.
You know what that means? You got a free play.
That's what I'm saying. So he threw it up.
He threw a pick.
Yeah, because you're supposed to, because that's smart quarterback. If I know I got a free play, I'm chucking it up because 50-50 catch. If it's a pick, it's a dead play.
That was a 10-yard throw. D4 was on the D line.
He was on the D line. That's what I'm saying.
And then 2 years later, in the Super Bowl with no offensive linemen, he had to go in the Super Bowl with brand new people off the couch, bro. And it still was a close game until the third, fourth quarter. That's tough. Playing with a team that has a bottom 15 defense, a bottom 15 scoring defense is hard because you're always going to be in shootout. So, yeah, Patrick Mahomes' numbers are inflated because of the era, but they're also inflated because he's in shootouts. So they're double inflated because he's bringing his team back, and it's just the era that you're passing the football. He gets it hard all the time. This is the first time you've seen Patrick Mahomes with an actual defense, like, ever. And it doesn't even look the same because the offense don't even match up.
I mean, and he's had good defensive players.
Yeah, but not a collective unit.
Okay, I can get behind that, but Spags, I've always believed in Spags. I mean, this is like, he's a great defensive mind. He's the guy that's dialed up to Tom Brady having.
When they show up, they show up. Like they show up. They're a defense that when rubber needs to hit the road, they'll show. Chris Jones are coming with a timely sack. Before it was Honey Badger coming with a great knockdown, a great pick.
Yep.
But you ain't have to worry about that when you got Teddy Bruschi and all them doing a thing every night. You ain't got to really dial it up because they just doing the damn thing.
That was again, we're going back to that was the first year. After that was Brady and the Panthers, and after that, it was like Brady took over.
Barely. He didn't really take over. he ain't really take over to that 05, 06. That's when they was like, oh, all right, Brady nice. And then the next year you get Randy Moss and you give him a weapon. It's like, oh, all right, he really is the guy now. But before that, it was still be a Tom Brady.
Okay, but then that goes into my point of this guy's putting up pretty good numbers for that era, and he's leading game-winning drives and game-winning Super Bowl drives and wins, and he's got lack offensive talent and still getting the job done. He didn't have a Peyton Manning start with Marshall Faulk and Marvin Harrison and then Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark. No, he didn't get that guy, like you said, until 2007 with Randy Moss and Wes Welker, and then look what he did. But we're not talking about that season because we're talking about the first 5 seasons comparatively. And that's what I'm saying. If you take everything into consideration, you look at Patrick Mahomes and the offense he was put into, and he had a year to sit behind. Brady didn't get that. I know he sat behind, but he was the 4th string quarterback. He was never projected to be that guy. Okay. Mahomes got to sit behind Alex Smith in that offense and learn everything. Play in a league that the offense is predicated on scoring points and the rules are put to the offense to put up yards and points. He had Travis Kelce, he had Tyreek Hill, and he had Andy Reid, who gave him the greenest of green lights to do whatever the fuck he wants. And Brady had Deion Branch, you guys, Super Bowl MVP. Okay, you give me that. What did he do when he left and went to Seattle? He did nothing.
But you're making it who had it harder based on what they had on offense and
that's
not what
the
they
point.
It's much more to it than just what you have on offense. That doesn't just make your situation hard. Having a bad defense makes your situation hard. Having bad coaching can make your situation hard.
Wait, but that's why I said what Mahomes lacked on defense made up for in an offense, and what Brady lacked on offense made up for in defense. So if we want to go,
what was more important at that time? At that time, defense was more important. So yeah, the defense carried. At this time, in this day to day, offense is more important. So they're all lacking something was lacking something, that was lackluster at their time. It's just whether you cared that he wasn't good offensively, and if you cared whether the Chiefs were good defensively, whether you care about that or not. They needed the defense. You clearly seen because they was always in shootouts. Brady needed the offense. It's just what you decide. Would you rather take? Would you rather the amazing defense and we gut out our wins, or would you rather amazing offense and still have to gut out the wins?
I'll tell you, I'd rather take the greatest of all time and Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. That's who I would take. All I know is in the big games, in the playoffs, Tom Brady's undefeated against Patrick Mahomes head to head. That's all I know. So that's one's great.
Up offensive lineman.
Yeah, Joe Burrow made it to a Super Bowl and put out a better performance with a terrible offensive line too.
That Super Bowl run is flawed because
I don't care about the flawed. All I'm saying is he had a terrible offensive line.
He performed. He was average through the playoffs. Like he was average. Those games are won of defensive plays. There was a pick in the 4th quarter in every single game. Like Joe Burrow was actually pretty mediocre through the whole playoff run.
He was, but that's what I'm saying is he went to the Super Bowl with the bad offensive line and put on a better performance than Patrick Mahomes did with the bad offensive line. That's all I'm saying.